And the delay gets longer and longer and longer and longer. Are we live? Yeah, okay. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, waiting for our studio audience. Waiting for the studio audience. Okay, Usher's got Linda sat in the front row. Come on, Ushers. Get the rest of the studio audience in here. Come on, get the rest of the studio audience. Linda isn't the only one standing in the back, Ushers. Come on. Okay, they got Kathy sat down now. All right, good. We have front row. We got Linda. We got Kathy. I guess we'll do a little music. With great anticipation from the basement storeroom of WDWL TV, we bring you the pride of the station. Oh, the grumpy old man. Me. And asshole is still on strike. No paycheck. Oh. Well, all right. I see we have Ron in the front row, Kathy on one side, Linda on the other. How's everybody doing? Ron is grabbing a snack. Don't eat the snacks from our... Oh, no. Not from our concession stand. Oh, my God. I don't need a lawsuit. Please. You don't know how old them snacks are at that concession stand back there. You eat at your own risk from our concession stand. I'll tell you that right now. The last person ended up in ICU for a week. 107. Oh, you guys in your triple digits, I'll tell you. Oh, man, I just barely made it. Barely. Although, it says in the title, Grumpy is muffled. Grumpy's Nissan is muffled. Yeah. Exhaust system finished. Believe it or not, the parts I needed arrived today. So I dragged all the tools out, angle grinder cut off, cut off all the rest of what was worthless pipe, put the new muffler on. Oh. And my neighbors hate it because now it sounds like a Mustang with a Coyote V8. Oh, you ought to hear this thing. Of course, the muffler is only that long. And it's got a big trumpet on the end of it. Yeah. You know, like the kids today, they have that big honking thing sticking out under their bumper. Well, that's what the shitbox has now. A big honking. Yeah, oh shit, I wasn't paying attention to the time. I took it for a ride around the block. I backed in the driveway, looked at the clock, and went, "Holy yatchafuck, man!" I just barely made it here. So, you're getting rain? I was just going to say, somebody's got to have bad weather. Cleveland's actually going to get up in the high to mid 80s this week. Well, Linda, that's what this is. It's a glass pack, but instead of, it having the 2-inch exit at the bumper, it's got a 4-inch. Yeah, it's only, I think it's total 15 inches long. It's a little shorty. It's only about that big around. Oh, and it's noisy. Not as noisy as it was without the muffler, but it's a honker. The neat thing is, it sounds like a V8. My little 4-banger sounds like a V8. So besides the muffler parts, the tune-up parts arrived. So all I got to do is run up to the auto parts store and get oil and a filter. And I got plugs, wires, cap, rotor. The shitbox is going to get a tune-up. The tune-up and the muffler parts now are worth more than the truck. And I went over and talked to my neighbor about the Passat. Only to find out his father has another house, and he told me there's 4 cars in the driveway. Go over there and see if there's anything I would be interested in. Now, one of them is an older Corvette. I'm not interested. It's going to be too expensive. But if there is something a little better, although, I really want to stick with the Passat. It's a nice looking little sedan. It's a 5-speed. And it'll be the first turbo I ever owned. So I've already done some research, and I found a larger turbo and some other goodies to make a little hot rod out of it. So tomorrow I'm going to swing by and take a look at what's at the other house. And see what he's got over there because things are starting to clear probate. I would like, honestly, I would like the Corvette because I've never, what does an old fart like me drive? A Corvette? Who do you see driving sports cars? Old farts like me. But I'm not going to get the Corvette cheap. Not to mention my insurance would probably go bonkers. And I'd hate to, I don't like fighting off women, you get a Corvette and the women are like, I left myself open there. I was waiting for. I guess I'm just going to let that one slide by, huh? I saw an interesting commercial this morning. Nowadays they'll do anything to sell a product. This commercial comes on with this little hottie Kathy, I liked the older ones. I did the Stingrays, from the 80s, 90s. I don't even know what year this one is. I assume it's probably maybe an 80s, maybe a 90s. First of all, they're money pits. A Corvette is like a Harley. And I'm sure you've all heard the slogan, Harley Davidson made of tin. Ride it out, push it in. Corvettes are money pits. They really are. And I'm assuming if Jim bought this thing, it's got multiple problems. Because everything that he owns has got multiple problems. And Jim was the type of guy. These cars were his retirement projects. Problem is, one, Jim never retired. And two, Jim never did a goddamn thing with any of the cars. The Porsche that's in the driveway is now, as a matter of fact, it's not even in the driveway. It's on the lawn. It is now sunk even with the lawn, with weeds growing up around it. The Corvette would be a nice little play toy. I don't have the money. Not to mention, the older Corvettes, get, without constant maintenance, the fiberglass starts to crack all over. The paint starts to delaminate from the fiberglass. So, like I say, I'm going to take a ride over just for grins, see what's parked in that driveway. But I've really got my heart set on the Passat. So I've got a list of goodies that I want to put on it. I've already got ideas for it, so until I see what's over in that driveway, nothing is really swaying me. Unless there would be like an old Fiat or an MG or an Austin Healey or, but I don't think he was into foreign cars. Older foreign cars. Watch. I'll drive over there tomorrow and there'll be an MG, an MGB, an Austin Healey, an Aston Martin, But none of these cars are turnkey. Although I am told the Passat is a turnkey. It's got massive electrical shorts. So I'm probably looking at wiring harnesses, but it does drive. Hey, look who's here. How are you, sweetheart? I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there. About ready to kill my pain management doctor. So how are you doing? Oh, look at everybody showing up here today. Annie's here. I haven't been over on your... Well, I listened to your last... Or did I? You had the Kaiser thing. I don't know if you had anything after. I haven't visited your page lately. But I'm happy to see you popping in to say hi. Well, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. I'm honored. I truly am. I think about you every now and then. I'll tell you what, that glitch, I for Mayoween. Oh, I missed that. Hey, Scutto, how you doing? I'll have to listen. Oh, damn it! I wish I would have caught that live. Never fails when I'm not paying attention. I'll go tonight. I'll go on YouTube and listen to it. And there's the almighty Scotto. How are you doing, buddy? Well, now I know what I'm going to do tonight. Instead of watching Killer in My Village, I'm going to watch the Chiz stream with Donald Cameron's daughter. Oh, tonight. That's for tonight, Chiz. When I'm cozy in bed, I put YouTube on my TV set. So I'll watch that tonight instead of British detective series. The Killer in My Village. I'm really getting hooked on those. Oh, getting back to the commercial. Today, they'll do anything to sell a product. And if you've noticed over the years, commercials are not like they were back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Today, this commercial comes on with this cute little hottie. And she has on something similar to Daisy Dukes. And she pulls this portable hard drive out of the box, turns around, and takes the hard drive and slides it across her butt. Are we selling hard drives or are we selling Daisy Dukes? Hard drive, slides it across her butt, and then I guess maybe that was to get your attention to see with a product that they are selling. Either that or they're telling you that if you wipe a hard drive across your ass, it'll still work. I don't know. Got me. I'm still trying to figure it out. Hey, John, how are ya? Welcome to the round table. Man, I'll tell you what. I'm going to be sore in the morning. Laying underneath that truck with an angle grinder, cutting off exhaust pipes. I haven't done that shit in years. I learned real fast. I'm not as young as I used to be. Nothing like trying to figure out how to get up off the concrete. I think every bone I've got creaked. You know, Linda, I don't understand what that was supposed to mean. If you're selling a portable hard drive, is that the way you get people's attention? I don't understand it. Oh, you like these? Believe it or not, Temu. Got them off of Temu. $2. Yeah. $2 off of Temu. And in my reading glass prescription. Yeah, I kind of like them myself. They beat the round ones. They look a lot better than these. You know, they're a little square. And they're that mottled brown and black. They're really sharp looking. I like them better than the round ones. Yeah, $2 on clearance. I couldn't beat it. I needed a new look. The round ones were kind of getting old. Yeah, Linda, I couldn't figure out whether they were selling a hard drive or she was a hooker. I didn't want to buy either one. I'm well stocked on external hard drives, and I'd rather spend my money on the Volkswagen than. Although, I forgot. I got another class action settlement check. I couldn't believe it. I got another class action settlement check. And this one's more than the other one. It was a data breach with T-Mobile. And I was with T-Mobile for about 6 months. And there was a data breach. And I signed up to join in the class action lawsuit. And I got my check today. Oh, you can't read it. I got it back far enough. I'm not going to put it right up against the camera. I know better. Believe it or not, I got $56.54. 56 bucks. The last one was 11 bucks. Got 56. It's getting deposited in the morning. Passat money. Parts for Passat. I couldn't believe it. As a matter of fact, I forgot I was in this class action suit because I haven't got any notification in so long. And then, check. I needed an interim phone. So it was pay by the month. I wasn't even on a T-Mobile phone plan. It was pay by the month. 6 months. But in that 6 months, there was a data breach. Even though I didn't really have any data in the phone to breach, I signed up for the class action lawsuit. And today, check. Yeah, this is the fourth class action lawsuit that I've signed into in about the last 8 years. Well, this was strictly month to month. I didn't do no contract with them because I wasn't going to stay with them. And it was amazing in 2021 when this data breach happened. It just happened to fall in that 6-month period that I was with T-Mobile. So it said, if you think your data was breached, sign in here. And then I forgot all about it. And then today, check. Free money. I love it. Remember when T-Mobile bought out Sprint? I was with Sprint. And then T-Mobile bought them out. And I said, oh no, I don't want nothing to do with you T-Mobile people. Because I never heard anything good about T-Mobile. So I got out of my Sprint contract for free. Well, about 2 months later, I ran into a problem with the carrier that I had signed up with. So I went to T-Mobile and I said, can I buy a cheap phone and just pay for the month to month, add minutes, that bullshit. And they were like, oh, yes, no problem. So I bought a, what do they call them, burner phone. And every month I would just add time to it. And during that time, there was a data breach. So I signed in for the class action lawsuit. I'm not following the chat. I'm sorry. So I went with, finally in the end, with Consumer Cellular. And I'll tell you what, I am extremely happy with them. $25 a month, unlimited talk, text. Now, I don't use a lot of data, so I never go over whatever, I don't know, what do they give you, 5 gigabits or something? And then I originally had 2 lines with Consumer. Well, thanks, John. They're all true. So when I went, I told you I went with the Ultra 1 gig service with Spectrum Internet. Well, in order to get the discount, or some bullshit, you got a free year of cell phone service. So I had to discontinue 1 line with Consumer so that I could put the free Spectrum service on my phone. But believe me, when the year is up, I'm going back to, Consumer. Because there ain't going to be no cheap cell phone service with Spectrum. I can guarantee that. At $20 a line with Consumer, I don't think when my year is up that Spectrum is going to give me unlimited talk, text for $20. So I'll be switching SIM cards again. I got an email from the Bullseye Company. Thank you. for bringing to our attention the slight problem you experienced with our store. We'll be looking into it. The slight problem? Nobody answering the phone? Yeah, the slight problem. You know how they're going to look into that. Yeah, I'm going through my email this morning. It's like, oh, Target. Let's see what they got to say. Thank you to bringing our attention the slight problem you experienced with our store. That was plural. Stores. And I called Dean's. And the only way I can get dill dip is if I order a case of 24. But they will ship them to me overnight. I said, I don't think I can eat that many. Oh, here we go. Right outside the window with the Harley. I'm waiting for the radio to come on. Oh, Linda. Consumer? Outstanding. Outstanding. $20 a month. Unlimited talk and text. Wonderful service. Wonderful. And they have live people answering their phones. Their customer service is outstanding. I've been with them about 8 years now. Love it. Absolutely love them. Outstanding. And like I say, you call, you push one, it's like either customer service or technical, and immediately a live person answers the phone. And I'll tell you what, I have never had a signal problem. Never. I get at least 90% no matter where I'm at, if not 100%. Never dropped a call, ever. Absolutely outstanding outfit. And you don't have to be a senior citizen to sign up. Everybody thinks you got to be a senior. No. Anybody. You can't beat it. I recommend them 100%. And you know me. I'm very hard to please. Very hard to please. And I am extremely happy with consumer cellular. Absolutely. Originally, yes, originally, back when they first started, but not anymore. Anybody. As a matter of fact, my neighbor down the street, her daughter, 18 years old, got her first cell phone because mom said you ain't getting no cell phone until you're 18. Got it through consumer. So, for $20 a month, unlimited talk, unlimited text. I don't know what the data is that goes with that. I think maybe it's 5 giggling bits. I don't know. I don't use data. I don't. I have no idea. But even if you use extra data, it's cheap. God, like Marianne, she was with AT&T, paying $65 a month. I said to her, ditch them bitches. So when her contract was done, she came over, she asked me for the number, she called, she's on consumer. Loves it. So you can't beat it. You really can't. And like I say, if they're pleasing me, they're doing 110%. I judge a company like Spectrum and Consumer. You call, you press either 1 or 2, and a live person answers the phone. Like when I call Spectrum, you get the robo answer, and it says, for customer service, press 1. For technical support, press 2. And then a live person. Like with my car insurance, which, I love it. Progressive has these different, you're like sapphire level and emerald level, and like now me, I'm diamond level, which pisses everybody off because when I call, I'm the next person that you could be waiting in line for an hour. They're answering me first because I am diamond level. Well, like I say, that's how I rate a company. I am a big one when it comes to customer service. When I was with AT&T, they have that robo answering machine. And if you didn't know the secret code word, you would say customer service, and the machine would be like, "We didn't understand your input. Please try again." Well, agent. No, that ain't it. If you didn't know the code word, you couldn't get past the robo machine. With AT&T, it was representative. If you said representative, oh, then your call got put through. But if you'd say customer service, sorry, we didn't understand your input. Agent, sorry, we didn't understand your input. Oh, my neighbors would hear me up the street screaming in that phone. I couldn't wait until my cell phone service and my internet. Oh, I pulled everything. So I put my cell phone service with consumer, and I put my internet service with Spectrum, and I am extremely happy. And their 1 gig internet, oh, outstanding. Because I'm running multiple computers here, and I'm running multiple televisions. Because there's sometimes at night I got both my TVs going. And I do a speed test on my internet service about 3 times a week. And I'm right on the money. Because I'll test several times. And my download speed and my upload speed are right where they should be. Linda, one day I was having a serious problem with my AT&T internet. Well, I took a trip across the United States because your call gets rotored to the next available person. So my first call was answered in New York. My second call was Chicago. My third call was Colorado. My fourth call was Los Angeles. And my fifth call, Guam. I went right off the map. Because I asked, what's this call center? And the girl said, Guam. I said, Guam? And another thing about AT&T. At 7 p.m. on Friday night to 7 a.m. Monday morning, the calls get routed to Pakistan. They don't even get answered by a U.S. call center. They get routed to Pakistan. God forbid if your internet goes down on the weekend. That's why I couldn't wait to get away from that company. I never even heard of Mediacom. Obviously not a large carrier. Never heard of Mediacom. Who the hell's Mediacom? Although there are so many. There was a truck a couple weeks ago up the street from me. Wow, internet. Wow. WDWL. Wow, internet. I'm like, oh, that sounds real good. Yeah, big orange and white Ford van. Wow, internet. So, and most of these smaller companies are renting towers. They don't even own anything. Although Consumer rents towers, but I've never had a problem with them. Yeah, I'm driving up the street and I say, wow, internet. I hope they're happy with it. Then there was another one, Omnicom or something. I would never go with an oddball. Mediacom, never heard of them. Really? Never heard of them. Maybe because they're down there, not up here in Cleveland. I'll have to gargle them and look into them. Mediacom, huh? But since the internet sucks, I don't think they must offer some cheap deals. Although they all do it. They all offer you these cheap deals to get you hooked. And after the first year, then you get it right up the ass. Now, the way I play it, when my cheap deal is about to expire, I tell them I'm switching internet providers. And then they're like, hold on. I did that with Spectrum. That's how I got the super deal on the 1 gig service. But when it comes up for renewal, I'll just tell them, hey, if you can't give me that price, I'm going somewhere else. I threatened to go with AT&T, and they're like, hold on. They get their pencil out. How about this price? Okay. They don't want to lose you. It was like, when I was with AT&T and when it was coming to the end of my internet service, I says to him, oh no, I ain't paying that. I'm going with Spectrum. And the girl from AT&T said, oh, you'll be back. You won't like them. Well, I've been with Spectrum 4 years now. I feel like calling the girl from AT&T and going, hey, I'm not with you guys yet. Of course, you never get the same person twice. And the pain in the ass is, if you have a problem and that person doesn't put detailed notes, when you get rotored to the next division, you got to start from scratch, explaining because the person didn't put detailed notes about whatever you were bitching about. Oh, I hated it. Oh, I couldn't wait to get away from AT&T. Oh, I could not wait to get away from them. Yeah, I know out in the country, because in order to get internet for a while, my uncle had to do it via satellite because they just don't have it wired out in the country yet. Like, when you're in the country and they finally run the city water to your house, I don't have to use that well anymore. And here's you want to hear something stupid? Another reason I went with Spectrum. I moved 8 houses. 8 houses. 8. I could not get high speed fiber optic internet in this house because it's not wired. 8 houses down, it's wired. I said, what? I had 1 gig down the street. They wanted me to take 50 meg. I said, I can't even run 1 computer off of 50 meg. It just so happened there was a Spectrum repair truck 2 houses up. And I walked up and I said, can I have the phone number? And I called and I said, can I get 1 gig here? And the girl said, of course. I said, fine. Sign me up. I moved 8 houses. I said, when are you planning on wiring the rest of the neighborhood? Well, they ran out of federal money to wire the neighborhood. They weren't going to pay out of their pocket. So nobody in my neighborhood here can get 1 gig. Now, AT&T has this wireless internet. So what they did, they said, we're going to send you this wireless internet before you sign up with Spectrum. I said, try it, free. So I get this box, and inside the box was a giant egg. A giant egg. In order to install it, you had to download an app and then walk around your house for placement of the giant egg. I walked around the house with my cell phone, and no matter where, I couldn't get signal to power the giant egg. The giant egg went back to AT&T. And I said, Spectrum, ship me the equipment. Yeah, they have wireless. They don't come out to your house. And the thing looks like a giant egg. I couldn't get the signal to power the giant egg. Stupidest thing I ever heard. Wireless internet. Now, maybe it would work somewhere else. It didn't work here. I was in every goddamn room with my cell phone. watching the dial. Then the girl from AT&T says, maybe you didn't download the app right. I said, I downloaded a QR code reader to read the QR code on the installation instructions that you sent with the giant egg. So I sent the giant egg back and immediately deleted the app. You have a giant egg, Ron? This thing looked like a giant egg. Stupidest looking piece of shit I ever saw. Why do these cigarettes keep going out? No egg. Well, AT&T has a giant egg. Yeah, she tells me, you must have screwed up the app. I said, you sent me the installation with a QR code. I got the QR code reader in my phone. I read your QR code. It installed the app. I can't get enough signal to power the giant egg. Then they wanted to charge me $50 to have a technician come out to attempt to find a spot in my house for the giant egg. I said, I don't want your giant egg. Send me a return shipping label. So they sent me a giant box to take the giant box that the giant egg came in, and I put the box in the box and waved at my UPS man. Please stop. I have a box for you. And he took the giant egg and shipped it back for me. Stupidest thing I ever heard. And another thing I like about Spectrum, when they are going to do work and they have to interrupt your internet service, they notify you. You will have an interruption between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. And then you know you're going to have an interruption. And when they tell you your internet will be back up by 3 a.m., it is. They are outstanding with their repair work. And if they have to, like a couple weeks ago, they had to put a booster. I think they call it a booster. They put it on the pole down the street. Some kind of Wi-Fi booster. And they do it between 2 and like 4 in the morning. I feel sorry for their technicians, but they attempt to interrupt your service the least amount of time, and they do it when probably 99% of the people are sleeping. Not me. With my insomnia, when the internet goes down for repair, I have to go to the other TV set for local TV. But then I get the text message, your service has been restored. Back to the other TV. And then, like, we had a storm come through, and it knocked the internet out. Oh, I was going, oh, you talk about somebody that was an internet withdrawal. Oh. My internet was down for 3 days. So I called and I said, hey, I want a credit on my bill for those 3 days I lost service. And the girl said, how about 7? Huh? You're giving me more than I asked for? Yes. We'll give you a 7-day credit for the inconvenience. And they did. How many companies are doing that? Give you more than what you asked for. Technically, they didn't have to credit you at all, because a storm is an act of God, and that's not their fault. But I was down for 3 days, and the girl said, how about 7? Worked for me. Another reason I stay with Spectrum. Although, how many people are like me that call and say, hey, my internet was down, I ain't paying? Not too many. So that 7-day credit didn't even hurt them. You know, they take your monthly bill, divide by 30, and there's your daily rate. It wasn't like I got the bill for free, but I thought it was kind of cool that they gave me 7 days instead of 3. Oh, you remember the club, Linda? I'm lucky if I get 3 hours. That's why I set all my doctor appointments after 12. Because I tell my doctors, I'm just barely falling asleep at 5 in the morning. And I'm not getting up for no 8 o'clock appointment. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, since going through chemo, do I have fucking insomnia. Been so long since I had decent sleep, I forget what decent sleep is. Yeah, right, Ron. What the hell is sleep? I'm starting to feel the old pain setting in from laying underneath that goddamn truck. Oh, I'm going to be stiff in the morning. Oh, man. I'm getting too old for that shit. Put the truck up on the ramps. Got out my moving pads. Laid them on the driveway and shimmy under the truck. Get the old angle grinder. Sparks going everywhere. At least I got it done. It's amazing that I ordered all the right size fucking parts. ID, OD, I know. Give me a pipe that fits. Oh, Mrs. M, did you say you worked at the Marks in Brooklyn? You know, Linda, mine started like right after my third chemo treatment. The one in Ohio, Brooklyn? I used to shop at that store. I'll be damned. You and I probably crossed tracks. When was it? Jesus Christ. I'm standing next to Kathy in a goddamn Hungarian meat store. And I'm probably standing next to Mrs. M in a goddamn Mark store. Holy shit. Small fucking world. What year was it? We'll see if it's during the time I was shopping in the Brooklyn store. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Because I was pissed off with my store at 136th and Lorraine. So I would go out to Brooklyn. Not to mention, Brooklyn's a bigger store. They had more product. Jesus Christ. I'm standing next to Kathy in a goddamn meat store. Here I am at Mark's, probably standing next to Mrs. M. The only thing I don't like about Mark's, they have zone pricing. And how they get away with that shit amazes me. Because you can go to one Mark's and pay like $2.50 for an item, and you go to a different Mark's and it's $3. I don't know how he gets away with that shit. He's got zone pricing. Because one day I bought something at the Brooklyn store and I returned it at the store at 136th and I got less money. The girl said, "Oh, it's only $2.50 here." I said, "Well, my receipt says $3. Well, then you got to return it to Brooklyn." Oh, I was pissed. You know, Linda, of course, doctors love to give the story. They said, "Oh, after chemo, when you're in remission, everything will be fine." Bullshit. If I get 3 hours, I'm fucking lucky. And God forbid, I tried taking a nap in the afternoon. Oh, did that screw me up? Then I couldn't sleep at all. I'm running daily on about 3 hours. That's why my goddamn TV's on all night long. I usually probably fall asleep around 4:30. And then about 7:45, I'm up. That's how I know when Spectrum shuts my internet down. Because I'm wide awake at 3 in the morning. Oh God, what did they tell you? Listen to white noise or something. They have these white noise generators or pink noise generators. And then these apps, listen to the ocean. All that does is make me get up and piss more. Listen to the ocean. All right, Mrs. M. Thanks for popping in. My Mark's buddy. Jesus Christ. Small goddamn world. Unbelievable. Pierogies. Oh, God. I haven't had good pierogies in years. I tried more sleep apps. They have pink noise, white noise, ocean noise. All it did was irritate the shit out of me. So the TV's on and goddamn cat gets more sleep than I do. That's how I found out my cat snores. I wouldn't. I would love to get 8 hours. I can't. I can. My doctor, he suggested take a nap. Take a nap in the afternoon. Well, I tried that. And then I couldn't sleep at all. I don't know how seniors can take a nap. It didn't work for me. But like I say, right around 4 a.m. 4:30, because I have a clock right over the top of the TV. So I know what time. And then 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'm wide awake. And then what makes it worse? My neighbor, owns a towing and road service company. In the winter, he brings home a big tow truck. Big. And of course, he gets calls all night long. So at 4 a.m. when I'm falling asleep, I hear and then I'm wide awake. But I don't yell at him because maybe I will need a free tow one day. Oh, you ought to see the trucks he brings home. Jesus Christ. Because in the winter, people's cars won't start. And since he owns the place, he brings home the biggest truck they own. These goddamn cigarettes. That's like my primary care doctor. Him and I are going to fight because I have told his receptionist no appointments before 12. I have an appointment next week. 8:30. I won't even get any sleep for fear I won't get up in time to go to my appointment. So as soon as I get in the office, I'm going to tell her, what did I tell you? No appointments before noon. All of my other doctors, 1 o'clock, 1:30, 1:45, 2 o'clock, 2:15, they accommodate me. My primary care, no. So Sheila and I are going to have a little chat when I get there. Because I am not going to be happy. It's bad enough the day before I have to get stabbed for a blood test with a needle. And it's a fasting one on top of it. Yeah, I got the reminder this morning. Make sure you fast for at least 12 hours. That means I have to drink shit like water. Can't even have my ginger ale. And then when I take my pills in the morning, black coffee. I don't drink black coffee. But I have to have coffee to get my brain started. not only my appointments, Linda, for doctors, CT scans, X-rays, MRIs, everything after 12. Well, I'm a sissy, so I request the butterflies too. But see, the phlebotomists, they hate that because it takes twice as long to take all the blood with a butterfly. That's why they don't like using them. You know, they can stick you with a 20 gauge and take a gallon in 2 minutes. Butterfly, it's like drip, drip, drip. Oh, it's on my charts. It's on my blood work. It says, patient requests butterfly. But the phlebotomists, they hate that. They want to get you in and out. They're like vampires. Quick, get a quart. Use a butterfly, it's drip, drip, drip. And they always take like a gallon, you know. I'll never forget the one. Oh, did I get in a fight? I see her with the big needle. I said, you're supposed to use a butterfly. Are you a sissy? Oh, I almost grabbed that needle and stuck her in the ass with it. Are you a sissy? I says, I have trypanophobia. Gargle it. I said trypanophobia. She looked at me like, is it contagious? Gargle it. I'll wait. I'll hold the needle while you pick up your cell phone and gargle it. Oh, are you a sissy? She doesn't know how close she came to getting stabbed with that needle right in the ass. I almost come up out of that chair. I told her, if you'd have gone through what I did when I was 6 years old, you'd have it too. Then I had to explain to her, you know, back in the 50s, you know, when we were riding dinosaurs, they didn't have these throwaway things. Doctors had to boil needles to sterilize them. And the needle came out of the holder. And it got sucked, the muscle sucked it into my fucking arm, and they had to dig for it. At 6 years old. Don't give me, are you a sissy? Oh, she almost got bitch slapped. Matter of fact, I reported, I said, don't you ever give me her. Oh, I was pissed. Are you a sissy? I'd have slapped her right across that goddamn room. Oh, when I got home, I called the head of the department at the Maine. I said, you better straighten her out. And by the way, don't you ever give her to me again. Are you a sissy? Are you a sissy? Oh, God. Oh, I was so goddamn mad. She didn't know how close she came. But they're in a big hurry. We have other people waiting out there. Well, then, they're going to wait. Here's what I tell them, Linda. I have excellent veins in the top of my hands because that's where they found it best to give me my chemo. No, they want to stick me down here. Them veins pop right out of the goddamn hand. My chemo nurse loved my hands. No, they want to go here. Not that easy down here. You know, the customer is always right. I know where you should stick me. Here. God, if they're sticking a 20 gauge in there, you could put a butterfly in real easy. But they want to do it their way. Then after she got reprimanded, I found out she had the nerve to say, well, he's a crab ass. Oh, if I'd have seen her again. Oh. They moved her. She's no longer up the street where I get my blood work done. They moved her. Are you a sissy? I couldn't believe. I did a triple take. You have the nerve to say that to me? It got right in my face. Are you a sissy? No. Are you in pain? Yes. I'd have smacked her in the mouth so hard she'd have been eaten out of her ass. Because that's where her teeth would have ended up. You know, Linda, you and I know where they can draw blood or put in an IV. We know. Do they listen? Maybe with you. And it's on my chart. I had it put on. I see it when they're registering me. Patient requests butterfly. She comes out with a garden hose. I don't think so. I give her my hand. She takes my arm. Hand. Arm. Hand. Arm. The only reason she didn't get smacked is I was taught from a very young tyke. Boys don't hit girls. Linda, my chemo nurse, I loved her. Shelley. Oh. She would, and she'd look, and when that vein was popping, and she was good. She was good. Because I was getting 220 gauges and I hardly felt them. But she took her time. She was not in a big ass hurry. Because she knew it was going to bother the shit out of me. And she didn't want to get me all hyped up. But see, you had the right person. You had someone that knew exactly where to place that needle. I'll tell you what. I never, in all the time I was getting stuck with needles, had a nurse like her. She didn't care if she had to spend a half an hour. She knew exactly when that vein was ready. And she was good because I hardly felt it. But these phlebotomists, they're just vampires. Stab and go. So we'll see next week what I end up with. Because I tell them, right here. Matter of fact, I think I had my doctor put that on the chart, along with the butterfly. Use hand. Like I say, if they can put a 20 gauge in and me not feel it, well, I feel it, but I'm not a sissy. And yet, what really pissed me off, when I reported her, the nurse or whoever she was, head of the phlebotomy department, said, I find that hard to believe. She's not that type of person. Oh, she heard a mouthful out of me. I said, next time I'm going in with a GoPro on my head. I'm going to wear my GoPro. We'll see. But there was never a next time because they got rid of it. The customer is always right. And I'm the customer. If I tell you where to put a needle, that's where you put it. Even my shrink said, that is a trauma I will never forget. And he said there's no amount of therapy that is ever going to change you. Because I told him about it. I said, hey, I got something I want to tell you. Of course, when you tell him, they had to boil syringes, he was like, what? Yeah. I used to see him in the cooker. He had a hot plate with a metal pan. Take the needle, drop it in. We're talking, antiquated medicine back in the 50s. You tell people about that today, they think you're, were you like in India? No. I was in America. Cleveland, Ohio. They boiled needles? Yeah. They boiled needles. Like the old thermometers. I always used to tell the nurse, don't confuse them too. She'd say, well, they're in 90% alcohol. I'd say, yeah, but one of them came out of 100% ass. Don't confuse them. I want the oral one. Not the rectal one. The rectal one don't taste so good. Yeah, I remember those days too. Have her little glass with her thermometers in them. One would be red, one would be blue. Make sure you put the red one under this tongue, not the blue one. I don't care if it's 90% alcohol. It came out of 100% ass. The red one. Nowadays, they come up with a E. I like the one it's got a ball on the end. They rub it over your head. Back in the day, open wide. Is that red or blue? It's red. Okay. That's another thing you tell kids nowadays. We used to have glass thermometers. They stick them in your mouth or stick one up your ass. Huh? Yeah, as a matter of fact, the last time they took my... It was like a wand with a metal ball on the end. And she just went... I'm used to the infrared one where they aim it like a laser beam. This one was a 98.6. Okay. Never had that one before. I asked her, I said, what are you doing? Well, I just took your temperature. Okay. I'm used to the laser beam, you know. It was a split second. I couldn't believe it. Just... You're good. Next. Although, I'll tell you, you can tell that hospitals are really cutting back. They don't weigh you anymore. And a lot of my appointments, they don't even take vitals anymore. And the nurse doesn't even come get you. The doctors do. It used to be the nurse would come out, step on the scale, sit down, let me take your temperature. And now, the nurse doesn't even come get you to take you in the waiting room for the doctor. The doctor comes and gets you. Talk about cutbacks. And a kiosk. I don't do kiosk. I want to keep that woman in a job over there at the registration desk. They have big signs. For faster service, use kiosk. I don't think so. How many more jobs are we going to cut out of our medical profession? All right, Ron. Have a good evening, buddy. It's about that time anyway. It is about that time. I didn't even look at the clock. It is about that time. Boy, time flies when you're bitching. I mean, when you're having fun. Boy, I went off the rails again tonight. But Linda and I got all of our medical problems all worked out tonight. I take it you and Ron talk a lot, huh? That's nice. That's nice. I like hearing that. You guys keep track of one another. That's cool. Very nice. I like that. One keeps an eye on the other one. That's very nice. I like hearing stuff like that. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I think you guys have heard me bitch enough tonight. I think we'll play the outro. If I can find it. Nope, that's not it. Where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. We know where, right here. Everybody, thanks for hanging in. Listen to me go haywire. And we will meet again tomorrow night. And I appreciate everybody being here. It was a fun night again. And everyone take care. And I'll see you tomorrow. Well, where's my clicker? Lost my clicker. See ya.